Hi everyone, let's get started with the pocket. You're going to take the top of your pocket and fold it down 1 inch, wrong sides together. As you can see, I like to use my hem tape here, but you can use pins or clips. After you fold it down and it's secure, take it to your machine and top stitch. When you're done top stitching, go ahead and fold in the sides and the bottom 1/4 inch. Again, I like to use my hem tape. It just makes everything really easy. If you don't have hem tape, you can just use some pins here to hold it in place. After your pocket is ready to go, you're going to decide where you want to place your pocket. There is a guide on the pattern piece, so if you'd like to use that as your starting point, go for it. This is where hem tape is a really nice tool to have because you can place it wherever you think you're going to like it and then position the bodice over your body to see where that pocket will hit. I don't end up adding my pocket to this, so you won't see it after this. But once you like where the pocket is, go ahead and stitch the sides and the bottom. So if you're adding a pocket, it should be stitched now. Now we're going to move on to the sleeves. If you are not color blocking, then you will not do this part. So make sure that you place the bottom portion of the sleeve with the top portion of the sleeve right sides together. Go ahead, pin or clip it, and then stitch it in place and repeat with your other sleeve. When your sleeves are done, you'll be moving on to your placket. So you can see I've got the wrong side of my bodice interfaced at the bottom, and I've got my 2 interfaced placket pieces that have been pressed down the center. Go ahead and turn your bodice so that it is right side up. You're going to place your placket pieces right sides together. So here I go again like a broken record with my hem tape. I just use the hem tape to make sure that my placket pieces don't move. As you can see, I go about a 1/2 inch below the bottom of the placket. So you'll want to do that to both sides. After you've got both of your plackets in place, you're going to want to take them to your machine and stitch. You'll go about 1/2 inch below the bottom of that placket when you're stitching. All right, this may very well be the most important part of your placket. Get out a ruler and go ahead and mark about 1/2 inch below the bottom of the placket. This is where you're going to cut the little trapezoid portion out. But if these are not even, then this is where you get puckers in your placket. Now it's time to check to make sure that there are no puckers or that there will be no puckers after you stitch your placket. So go ahead, flip your bodice over to the right side, tuck those plackets into the wrong side of the bodice and just kind of smooth everything out. Make sure everything is nice, flat, and straight. And if it's not, go back and check out that cut you made at the trapezoid. Is it even? This is also the part where you need to decide which placket you want on top. So go ahead and figure that out. And after you've done that, you can come in and get everything ready. Once you're ready and happy with the way your placket looks, go ahead and flip the bottom of the bodice up. You're going to stitch across the trapezoid, making sure to catch both of your plackets. Of course, I like to use hem tape to keep everything from moving. All right, I've got my back bodice here with my pleat markings clipped. I'm not sure if you can see them, but you'll want to mark those pleat markings to make it easy for you to create your pleat. So if you do an inverted box pleat, which is what I am doing, this is what it will end up looking like. I take my pleat marking and fold it over so that it matches the center of my back bodice. Go ahead and add a pin or clip so that it doesn't move, and repeat for the other side. After you've got your pleat clipped or pinned, you're going to take it to your machine and baste that pleat so that it doesn't move when you complete the next step. Now that my pleat is basted and it will not move, I will take my yoke for my back bodice and place it right sides together with that bottom back bodice portion. Go ahead and pin it or clip it, and you're going to want to stitch. Make sure when you are placing your yoke wrong sides together with it that you press your pleat nicely so that it doesn't get caught oddly when you're stitching it. After you've completed your yoke by, attaching it to the bottom back bodice, now it turns into your normal everyday top. You're going to take the shoulders and attach them together, right sides together. Then you're going to take that to your machine and stitch. Now that your shoulders are stitched, we continue with the general construction and go ahead and pin or clip your sleeves right sides together with the bodice. Take it to your machine, stitch, and repeat with the other sleeve. Now it's time to do our side seams. So when you're doing that, make sure that obviously your bodice is right sides together and clip it at each of the color blocked spots first so that you can make sure that those line up perfectly. And then if you want to, you can add more pins or clips. If you don't have to add any, but I really do recommend adding pins or clips at each color blocked portion. After you've pinned or clipped it, take it to your machine and stitch. After your side seams are done, it's time to attach your neckband, and this will be slightly different than your regular neckband. So as you can see here, I do have my neckband here, and I have added a small piece of interfacing on each side of the neckband. After talking about it for a while and making a couple, we decided to add this tip just because it gives you a nice crisp finish right there with the placket. Before we're ready to attach our neckband, we need to stitch the short ends. So you're going to want to take your neckband and fold it in half so that it is wrong sides together. You're going to take it to your machine and stitch those short ends. After you've stitched the ends, go ahead, bring it over, and you're going to turn it so that it is right side out. Take anything you would like. I use a pen, just don't use the scissors, you could cut through it, to push that corner out and make it a nice crisp corner. I do take it back and press it again, just because this part's so important to that finished look that you want it to be nice and flat. All right, so now let's attach the neckband to the bodice. So instead of quartering your neckband, this one I do in thirds. So I find the center back, and then of course each side is my, 1 and 2. So I've got it into 3. So I'll find the center back of my bodice as well. And the other 2 spots are going to be my placket. So you're going to match up that edge of your neckband to that center line of your placket. Get it as close as possible as you can, because this is how you'll see where that neckband looks really nicely lined up, as if the placket is just continuing up to the neckband. So unfold your placket over so you can sandwich that neckband in. Pin or clip it, just whatever you do, do it do it a lot because you don't want that portion to move. And then you're going to follow the neckband around and do the same thing on the other side. After it's clipped and ready to go, you'll take it to your machine and stitch. Remember to stretch your neckband to fit the bodice, not the opposite. After you've stitched it on, you're going to bring your neckband and you're going to turn those corners in so that it is right side out. And you'll see how nice and crisp that interfacing made the top and how nice your finished neckband looks. The last thing we have left to do is to hem our sleeves and hem our bottom raw edge. You can also add buttons or snaps. In my case, I am going to leave it without buttons or snaps. I really like the look of the placket like that.